Ai, todo mundo quer saber se o vovô tá casado.
Tá sabendo em todas as favelas?
Ai, todo mundo quer saber se o vovô tá casado.
O assunto tá mais que falado.
Ai, todo mundo quer saber se o vovô tá casado.
Tá sabendo em todas as favelas?
Ai, todo mundo quer saber se o vovô tá casado.
O assunto tá mais que falado. Surgiu uma fofoca com o nome do vô. Eu já sei que tá mais que danado. A blogueira dos jobs já viu que saiu no gossip, vovô tá casado. A blogueira dos jobs já viu que saiu no gossip, vovô tá casado. Eu achei esse papo estranho, eu achei esse papo mandado. O vovô arrendeu putaria, como é que o vovô vai tá casado?
Eu acho esse modo toda já putaria na guarda. Se isso te dá, eu ainda namorava. Maldita de ele ligando de madrugada. E aí perdeu que a outra deu uma tentada.
O vovô não é de ninguém, vovô é do povo. O vovô não é de ninguém, vovô é do povo. Para de caô, você já tá de fofocar de novo. Porque o vovô não é de ninguém, o vovô.
What's up, everybody? So the Zapping and Priest situation is getting more and more crazy, but I wanted to, give you a big example of like the city of excuses, right? So these people have been running off perceptions of their own perceptions of what red pill is. They've been, denounce, or should I say, crowning other people the leaders of the red pill when red pill doesn't have any leaders. They have basically slanderized a whole entire movement based off their feelings, right? And they made Fresh and Fit the joke, right? See, the difference between them and me is that I actually know about Fresh and Fit's origins, unlike them. I can literally point to a person who knows about them, who created them. But the one thing that they don't have is the fact is that I have the history and they don't. There's so many other people out here who was there from the very beginning when Fresh and Fit first started. So a lot of us never took Fresh and Fit seriously. But Fresh and Fit knew what they was doing. See, unlike these fuckers who hide their lives and hide behind fucking reaction channels, they actually talk to the females that actually the men want to deal with, instead of the men that these fuckers are trying to like push females on. Because a lot of these guys, these anti-red pillers, they don't have the counter women. They don't have a setup like Fresh and Fit talking to the quote-unquote other women that's out there that ain't Fresh and Fit. Because a lot of these guys don't have the argument talking points, and they don't want the women that they think that people should be talking to be exposed. Because once it's out there on the internet, people are gonna, take it apart. So she made a new video, but I want to address a couple of things. So your boy, this guy, let's go right here. Do I got him over here? Yep. You're just Tree, the same piece of shit female who makes so many videos on Fresh and Fit. She's pretty fucking quiet on the whole ABBA situation. Where the fuck is this dude at? I know he's in this list. That's why I didn't take down this list. And your boy, Free Agency is kind of a cornball. I told y'all that's like, back before in 2026 when your boy Free Agent Lifestyle was going at Passport Bros, but then he pretty much became a passport bro and traveled, but bragged about traveling. Then he tried to get into traveling space, and his whole game and swag or whatever he thought he had, he got played overseas, and then he basically disconnected. He got robbed like 2 times overseas. And I see how much of a cornball he was based off the fact. It's the same thing with Donovan Sharp. So now he's taking this girl's side instead of looking at the reality of the situation, right? And I'm going to break that down. Where's this guy at? Damn, I forgot to put him on a list. Damn. Shit. I ain't as organized as I thought I was, huh? Let's see. There we go. This guy. So, this weak ass dude. Like I said, I went through his catalog on one of my. Oh yeah, no. It's my shorts. It's my short. And I went through his catalog, and he tried to act like he had a got you moment on me. When, look, I can go down his list. One of his first ever video was about Red Pill. His whole channel is a political. So let's break this down before I go into her video. So
battery level is 90%.
Let's see his tagline. He says YouTube drama, media, culture, music, and gaming. He doesn't have any music on his channel. All he has is Red Pill drama, right? And his political views. He don't have any crime. Oh, what happened to the video about the mom in Chicago getting beat up by the group of teenagers? What happened to that? Oh, what happened to the video of the woman who was outed saying that nobody should date men and marry, and she ended up marrying? This is why I don't like these type of people who... Me and him had a run-in, and he said he's going to block me. Block me on what? YouTube? You can block me in the comments, but I can still watch your videos. This ain't Twitter. And you could tell that he's a soft soy boy because he used the same kind of insults. I told you a lot of times, you have to look at when a person insults you, you have to understand where the origin's at, right? When they insult you. When they insult you, it tells you it expose who they really are, right? It gives you an identification of how they structure their insults, or what kind of insults they use, or what kind of insults they're comfortable with, right? So he said he was going to block me because I called him out and said, dude, you talked a lot of shit, right? About the Fresh situation, right? So he has videos on here. I can go all the way down the list. About a year ago. And here we go. Red Pill. Red Pill versus the Red whatever. More Red Pill L's. His whole channel is about anti-Red Pill. So it shows a clear, distinct definition of what his channel is. It's not about YouTube drama because he's not talking about the Twitch drama. He's not talking about all the stuff that they all have. He doesn't have that kind of creativity. He comes online, talks shit about Red Pill, thinking he's going to get this grand viewer count, and he's going to get that silver button like the Almighty J or whatever the dude name is, the Almighty whatever his name is, J Almighty or whatever, right? These people are mostly grifters. They don't give a fuck, right? If the red pill didn't get them views, money, and make them feel good, they wouldn't be talking about the red pill, right? So let's move on. Let's talk about. Let's go right here, and let's go here. Let's now go.
For about 8 months.
1, 2. Okay.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to try to do this in one run. I'm not really familiar with speaking into the camera, and I do want to make this a lot faster than my first video. I do want to mention one thing. I understand that I'm questionable. I understand that you guys don't know anything about me. You guys saw a 20-minute video about me, and then you guys saw a 2-hour stream that ABBA, and the topic was about me. So I understand the onslaught, I understand the skepticism, and I understand the comments that are writing, and I get the perspective.
Yeah, and also I have to criticize her because she was very unorganized. She needed to get somebody like me. I would have put all this together. Like I said, I used to do PI work. I would have put all this together. And it should have been sent to Myron. She can't handle this. She should have sent this to Myron. Myron, the only one who can put a stump in it. Not only that, she should do an interview. Mind you, he didn't have no problem going after Fresh's situation and doing that, or talking about Myron's ex-girlfriend, making hundreds and hundreds of videos on Fresh and Fit's personal life, right? Saying he's gay. Now, the funny thing about the ABBA side is that they can disparage you, they can say shit about you, and you're supposed to keep taking it, right? They could defamate you, they could say you never had a girlfriend, or you gay, or you this and this and that. But then when you say something about them, they're like, you don't know my life. But you don't know my life. Oh, it's how you speak. Well, that's how you speak. You sound just like this. And then they try to fight, and then there's a back and forth, right? It's a big numbers game about who has the biggest numbers, right? And who believes who. Now, do I see the split? Who's winning? This chick or ABBA? ABBA's winning, right? ABBA has the fans. His fans are more brain dead than anything else, and they don't have the moral conjecture, or that's right, the moral clarity to see who's wrong and who's right. Mind you, I went through a lot of ABBA and Preach early videos. Who they portray to be now is not who they portrayed when they first started. Also, when you hear a lot of different things that these dudes said in their videos, and like I said, my head started hurting because I had to look at so many of these videos to see clear inconsistencies in their talking points, right? That's why I said Myron has a whole team. Giving this to Myron would have been a great fucking blow to ABBA and Preach. And then showing all the videos that they made. Me, it would have took me close to a week to pull it all together by myself. But going through all those videos, it would have been, I would have needed a second person. All right. It's the same thing happened when I had to go through DJ Kuda's live streams and shit. He had live streams that was like 8-hour live streams. That shit was annoying. That's why I was like, I'm never going to do that on a desktop ever again. It was just way too much. But let's go through this.
ABBA's stream last night, and I do feel like there were some consistencies in the beginning. We were in love. I got pregnant. We decided to keep it. we went back and forth. And then he goes into this audio, which...
Conversation me and her had.
First, I feel like I was in a triangle of like, okay, if I don't have the baby, then things can continue. So that audio, I feel like was misused. And I think in the video or in the comments, there were a lot of like, oh, she's like manipulating. This conversation was the first conversation Abba and I had after the whole month of us not talking. So I had the abortion a week before, and then he hit me up on Instagram, and then as things calmed down, he actually asked for a phone call. And then he recorded this. I was very emotional over this conversation. There was no manipulation going on. It was truly from the heart. I was saying sorry about the abortion in general, because I did feel sorry in my heart about the abortion. I was saying sorry to him because I know that everything kind of imploded really quick. So talking to him, seeing him again, like on FaceTime at the time, it was a very emotional moment. I think the way he used it was, I don't know, I think it was a little misused, but this was a very intimate conversation. And
this is Abba's MO. He did the same shit with the Destiny situation. Remember 2 years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, when he was dancing with Destiny's wife, and everybody made it about him, like, you know, it was like he's disrespecting Destiny at the time, and it was about him disrespecting Destiny. It's a lot of times where you see him like doing shit. Him and Steve. Let me tell you about these fucking fools, right? These anti-red pillar dudes, they talk to each other. They got channels. When Abba and Preach make a video, they make a video. If Abba and Preach says the sky is red, they're going to believe the sky is red, and they're going to start talking about the sky is red. If Abba and Preach says there's a study showing that eating your own shit is more nutrients for your body than eating food, they're going to make a video of it. That's how fucking weird these guys really are. Parasocial and also monetary. They actually have to go after the red pill because of bigger channels. They go along with what Fresh and Fit says. I mean, not Fresh and Fit. They go along with what Abba and Priest says. Got too many things in my head. Abba and Priest says. I watch these reaction channels go along with everything they say. I only saw one person go against them. A few people that went against them and called them out for the shit that they do, the shit that they say. Only a few. One was a woman. We're calling them out for talking about not talking about Canadian politics, but keep talking about American politics when they have nothing to do with American politics, or talking about anything that's in America when they don't live in America, right?
Everything I'm saying in here was true from my heart, telling him that I was confused and that I just didn't expect it to end this way. Going on with Abba, but if I have a baby, pregnancy happened, I don't think any of this would happen, but sorry.
The lady, what I wanted was letting you know that I would have your back to the best of my ability.
Battery level is 95% now while he was responding in the way that he was responding. And I think someone said, like, of course, the other person, if they know that they're recording, is going to be on their best behavior. He said that I can play the phone call from the pregnancy, and I might not be saying much either, but it makes sense now why he's talking like this.
I understand when I felt differently. I understand what happens to have to deal with somebody changing their mind. Now I can't stress it to you guys enough how fucking debilitating and mentally.
Now, and I have to say this about a lot of people, right? When you first start talking to somebody, you have to record shit. Sorry, that's how we in today's world. You have to start taking screenshots of text messages, and you have to protect yourself at all times. That's how it has to be, right? Just in case stuff like this ever happens, right? But at the same time, remember a few years ago when everybody was defending Destiny, until more women come out. So I want to see if more women come out about Abba and how these people are going to defend him. Because mind you, like I said before, Abba and Preach is a cash cow to these fucking losers who come out and make channels and react to Abba and Preach's videos about Red Pill. Because they don't want to take the hit. Because Abba and Preach is in many different wars. And the funny thing about this, from what I heard, Just Pearl can destroy half of the people who make videos about her. But really, she doesn't care. Brittany Venti is easy to destroy. It's not even a question how you can destroy Brittany Venti. Her past and everything she does and all the people it's just not that hard to go into Brittany Venti's life and destroy her. Mind you, they're going to war with the Quartering for the shit that he did to Kino Casino, and how the anti-woke guys are basically tearing each other apart. They just turned on this chick called Christy Marr, or this comedian chick, orange red hair chick called Christy Marr, the left, the right, the anti-woke side, and they just, they basically took her down and talked down to her because she didn't do what they wanted her to do. And I told y'all that's how the anti-wokes are. They're not the good guys. They're just like them. The difference between the Red Pill is that we really don't have a lot of infighting with each other. We know, we acknowledge certain people, but we know who's the fake and who's not. I mean, all over my channel, I call a whole bunch of people out. We went through the C Boogies, we went through the Mr. Fantastic, the Jessica X's, the Obsidians, the Angry Mans. I made a whole damn list about a lot of fake people that I seen in the Black Manosphere, in the MGTOW world. We already went there. We already saw that. We already did that. Went with the Alexis Lorries, the Jada Blacks, when he had that interview with Lori Alexis, or whatever her name is. We called a lot of people out. That's the reason why these guys didn't grow. That's the reason why some of these Red Pill guys didn't grow and didn't go better. Or some of these guys just faded off. Because nobody listened to them because we knew they was fake. And one of the reasons why a lot of people are now standoffish, because you don't know who's going to turn next or who's fake. Right? I'm really small. I can't be fake, because if I was fake, I would have more numbers and I'd be catering to a bunch of motherfucking other people. No, I've been small. I might have 100 here, but I have 300 subscribers. I had 2,000 in the pandemic. My numbers was crazy in the pandemic because everybody was at home, but I was hitting some good bangers, especially with all of the videos I had and the catalog videos that I got. It's crazy. But they can't be wrong, right? Abba, the funny thing about Abba is that he pretends that he's the moral high ground. He knows anything better. He had a video of an old man talking about how his divorce didn't mess him up. And he says, "Whoa, if that old man can go out here and not be bitter, why you guys can't do the same?" I can't find that video. Well, I can find it, but I'm not trying to. So that was one instance. The dude. Then he said one thing about how it's all men's jobs to get a wife that takes money from them and their kids, and you should just be happy that your wife and your kids is happy and you're unhappy. Just like that. They said that. Both Abba and Priest said that. So it's a lot of shit that this dude said that don't match up with his real life. Because if he goes out in the single world and this is the best he can do, it shows you that all the shit that he was talking about was full of shit.
He's a loser to be able to have a way. I was playing it like, wow, the way she was talking during the video was crazy. And at first I wasn't understanding that, but I did my research on what hormones and brings you to a woman, and your boy learned some things. So
he learned some things. Isn't it the same dude who act like he knows everything about women? Mind you, the dude that I just showed you maybe 10 minutes ago, he said something on his live stream about how Fresh and Fit fans don't have girlfriends. They don't know what women are. But They didn't miss that when he don't know that women are hormonal when they're pregnant. What? So it seems like he has no experience with women than Fresh and Fit or Red Pill.
My own red lines weren't very difficult, okay? The two things I asked first, like, I don't want any kind of baby mom business. What does that mean? Yeah. But to be involved with somebody you can't walk away from, and they push your fucking buttons, and then you say something, and they act like they never did nothing. I remember I even sent her a message one time.
Okay, I do want to say something about this. And I do feel like the things he's saying can definitely be true. But the things I'm going to show you that he said, I don't think people can really push people to say those things.
Yeah. I would never go off on anybody in real life. I never. That's why I was able to maintain long-time friendships with people. The only time that my friendships ever diluted was when the person stepped over a line, and then I gave them a chance to come back. Once me, if you're friends with me more than 10, even 5 years, and you said something wrong, I'm waiting for you to, even within the next week, apologize so we can patch things up and be cool again. But once that timer goes out, with a week, and sometimes I even give somebody a month. Once you don't do that, yeah, we done. Right? It's not up to me to be like, oh yeah, no. But I had friendships, long-term friendships, 11, 8-year friendships. And longest is 15 years friendships. Relationships, 4 years, the max. So it's incredible. It's crazy that you will go and start talking down to a female like this, but you're online talking about how the red pill treat women, how they view women.
And for me, this is like a point where I'm starting to think, maybe I don't want to be involved when I'm thinking about getting engaged. Why does she think it's acceptable? She didn't just tell me that.
So I'll get to the pregnancy right now.
First of all, like, what do you want to keep?
I'll get to the pregnancy.
The battery is fully charged.
Why I decided to go back and forth, and why I decided to break up in a second. But now he.
Day one, two, what do you mean cutting me out? Like, so I text her, very calmly, I'm like, call me. For me, this is like a point where I'm starting to think, maybe I don't want to be involved with her in any shape or form. Because not only did she constantly remind me, but she can tell me I'm not part of things whenever she wants, she thinks it's acceptable. She didn't just.
So, I guess I don't want it to be like tit for tat, but when I would say something like, "Oh well, you don't have to come anymore," because I was like being emotional, or like I'm like maybe you shouldn't come, he would take that as like, "Oh, you're cutting me out," and then it would just.
Oh yeah, and also, it seemed like he don't have experience at all with women, because different backgrounds have different family backgrounds, and what I start to see with me dating specifically Asian girls and Latino girls, they have different backgrounds and different type of different drama, family drama. A lot of Asian moms are very abusive to their daughters. That's why the dynamic should be the male and the female. But if a mom is a single mom of daughters, that she tends to they tend to beat their daughters and blame the daughters, right? Or they see the daughters look better than them and they beat them to control them, so they never see their daughters happy ever. And she will get to that, right? I'm red pill, but I know more about this than Abba. And mind you, all he does is fresh and fit videos, but he never put his perspective out there about different ethnicities and their traumas and whatever they stuff, like, you know, the Pakistanians or the Middle Eastern mindset, where they have the tiger moms and the tiger families, where they push their families too far, they push their kids too far for academic achievements, and those people end up basically crashing out. They end up taking somebody's life or taking their own lives. Turkey had multiple mass shootings this year.
Flowed from there. Me saying that like emotionally would just take him to another place and be like, oh no, now you're quitting, and then so now it's over, and then it would escalate. And that's actually exactly what he's talking about here. He's talking about a specific trip. Oh, okay. So we were talking about here. He had been really distant with me, and then I was like, hey, maybe you don't have to come for Christmas or New Year's, because he was being very distant with me. And I was like, you know, like, don't worry about it. And he's telling me I'm like cutting it off. And so now he gets really upset. The only thing I can explain when I'm explaining this is Abba's threshold for getting upset is low. And that's the only way I can explain it. So he's like,
yeah, we seen that shit with the Steve Knight situation. Mind you, Steve Knight was a former foot soldier for Abba and Preach. He was. He used to make videos against Fresh and Fit a lot. I think he took those videos down. But he used to always react to what they react to. Oh yeah. Oh man, those clowns Fresh and Fit, they losers. And then Steve Knight and Abba had one blow up with each other, and there was a debate that they end up acting like Abba won, and everybody, the idiots, thought he was cooking. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't even live in America. You can't even speak on our politics. You can't even speak on anything we do. We're not in a socialist country. We're not Canada. So Steve Knight showed he lacked intelligence for even taking a debate with somebody who don't live in America. It's the same shit what happened with Destiny's wife, Malia, who pretended she knew about American women and American culture. What the fuck happened after she broke up with Destiny? She bounced and went back to her country. Tucked her tails between her legs and never came back because she couldn't stand on her fucking own with all the talking points she had.
Saying like I'm playing victim. He's saying like I don't hold myself accountable. He's saying I'm being emotional, that I'm being a victim. You know, it can probably be in the middle somewhere, but Abba does get angry really quick, which is one of the reasons why I went back and forth with the pregnancy and all of our fighting, and the way he would talk to me in conflict, which we'll get to.
I was like, oh, you know what, Jane? From there, she gets very upset with me, considering ending things between the two of us. And this is something that she would do throughout when I would think about ending things, okay? And I don't like showing this, because to me, this is something that should stay private. She told me that she was thinking of harming herself, okay? Now, this is not the first time, this is not the second or third time she's done this.
Yeah, he's now manipulating the audience to thinking that she's crazy about how she says she's going to harm herself. But let's see in this video where she destroys that point about what he did when, what point of when he came into her life, right?
Okay. So, you can see the messages. I can't explain to people what it's like to be in a scenario where you think your partner's going to kill themselves and they're pregnant, which is like, but I'm literally frantically texting her, triple texting, quadruple texting, which but I mean, if I stop someone kill themselves, I'm not going to bother, okay? You can read the bread. You see me saying you're coming out of pregnancy, you're cutting me out of abortion, you're coming out of a relationship, like, I'm going to my frustration, like, and she says I'm going to kill the baby. Okay? I call the cops. I'm not even going to bother this. And
what Abba said, there are a few things that Abba said here. He says that I manipulate him when he's breaking up with me as self-harm. And that is so far from the truth. The text messages you are seeing are my text messages. The only time it ever got that close was when Abba would tell me, you killed the baby, or go ahead and kill the baby. And I do have to put some background on this. The first reason why Abba blocked me on August 7th was because I told him I wasn't ready to date yet. I can pull it up if needed.
So she told Buddy that she wasn't ready to date. And he probably pursued her to date and said, basically the person he betrayed online is not who he was in real life. Mind you, this is a girl who got fooled by This is a girl who got fooled by the public Alba and not the private. Remember, I told everybody about that. I said people keep talking about a personality. People have multiple personalities or multiple layer personalities. They have the public personality. Well, they have multiple personalities. What they're the perceptual personality that people think they see, the public personality, the private personality, and their true personality. Most people would never see a person's true personality. Once they see it, it's a stay or leave situation. And she saw his real personality.
Ready to date yet because a few months before my sister had almost passed away. I had to take 3 to 4 months off work and I had to rehabilitate her. She can't walk anymore. She has an addiction. Abba said that, and a part of her addiction really messed up her mobility. I told him after that I wasn't in the state of mind. I need to.
Now, anybody with a fucking brain wouldn't deal with a girl who's dealing with a situation like that. I would never, even though I'm yeah, man, women are this, blah, 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 blah. I look at the situation and assess the situation. So Abba was so pushy hungry, like a little bitch, a pussy slave, like I call him. He was so much of a pussy slave that he couldn't find another girl. He had to go with a girl whose sister nearly died from drugs. And she had to take care of her sister. Now, mind you, this dude is trying to take money out of this female's pockets to take care of her family. No one's talking about that.
Catch up. I missed 3 months off work. I saw my sister go through what she went through, and then there also had been a lot of suffering in the family at the time. Abba knew that, and we had talked middle of July, and he had been wanting to meet me. August 7th, he got upset and blocked me because I said, I'm not in the right state of mind to do anything right now. I'm still recovering. I have a kind of like a nihilistic view towards life. I didn't tell him that. I eventually told him that. But he is saying here that I said I wanted to harm myself or kill myself because of that, because he wants to break up with me. This is the same thread. The I'm going to kill the baby thread, okay?
So, remember back in the pandemic, anybody who was here when I told you about the chick that I was dating before who said she wanted to take her own life and she had all the newts and whatever. This was around the time in 2020 when Hannah Kimura passed away. Told you. It I wasn't lying. It matches up just like this. But hey, I'm an incel. I don't know what I'm talking about, even though I have a whole bunch of receipts, screenshots, inbox messages, numbers, got a lot of shit. But hey,
So, I blocked your email. That's when he blocked me again. I blocked the new number you're using. Stop contacting me. Speaking of blocking, I don't think Abba ever addressed the blocking. Why is he blocking me 3 weeks after we just met because I can't go on a date with him? Why is he constantly blocking me? He never addressed the Montreal flight. He actually really didn't address the video very much, like with the things he said to me, but stop contacting me. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll stop contacting you. Sorry for everything, I get it. We had gotten into a big fight, and he blocked me. And our fights are not simple. I know that he says our fights are regular relationship stuff. I can pull them up if that ever needs to happen. He then says, good, do what you gotta do and kill the child. Bye. I'm hormonal. He knows that I had guilt in the first place about thinking that. And again, I'm not trying to be perfect here at all. Honestly, this whole thing kind of seems like it wasn't a good relationship. We could have definitely done better. So I understand how I look. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I know that people use mental health as an attention thing or as a manipulation thing. And that's another reason why I had mentioned my sister, because after taking care of my sister, truly, if I'm being completely honest and human here, and I know people are going to be like, oh, like she's bipolar, but I'm just being honest. After seeing all that suffering with my sister and within the family, I did have a negative view through like I did, my view of life was nihilistic. I was like, like, why are we here? You feel a little bit like helpless and pessimistic, and that was my view, and ABBA knew that. I can pull up the two times I had ever thought about doing it, and each time was ABBA saying, go ahead and kill the child, or go kill the baby. So that's what he says. I'm already like saying, sorry, thanks for everything, and then we talk about more things, and then I'm going to kill the baby. Remember what he said, because he's like, go ahead and kill the baby, and then now that triggers something, and then now we're kind of arguing, and then now I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to kill the baby. But it was like, I was reiterating what he's saying. I didn't say that out of nowhere. I'm saying it because that's what he said. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill a baby, you're right, kind of thing. And he completely misses. Talk some more. And the reason he might be someone that might be difficult to work with and who gets upset easily and has this idea of how people should act, and if it's not that way, then they're playing the victim. Compare that wanting your mom crazy, how folks just repeat themselves. Sometimes I say,
I had someone push me to this point. My girl here.
let me ask him to talk some more.
You know what I mean? My girl here, she pushed me to that point, all right?
Oh, he's talking about here.
So, mind you, everybody's taking his side after this video. Oh, she pushed me that point. It's funny the fact that they want to talk about your inexperience with women. They want to sit there and talk about all that shit. Oh, you don't know about women and this and this and that. But y'all let the guy go for snapping out on a woman who's mentally ill, who's been through a whole bunch of shit, and you're not mentally strong yourself, and she pushed me to it. Yeah, because she's mentally unstable. This is why you shouldn't put your dick in a mentally unstable female, or you shouldn't really entertain her. But he wanted his baddie, because it seems like ABBA probably never got with a baddie before. Because look, I mean, you kind of see Preach's girlfriend or wife or whatever, and she's not really good looking. Just say that.
He's talking about the stuff he's said to me, and ABBA, if you have proof of me pushing you to these points, please show them. ABBA would say stuff about my mom, like, obviously now I just look like a girl with trauma, okay? Like, all this stuff's not really supposed to be out there. I guess started it, but ABBA would say things about my mom, and he would say, my mom used to physically abuse me until my nose bled, and he would say stuff like, I'm laughing.
Yep. I told you. A lot of Asian moms really do abuse their daughters. Right? And this happened with a P-star, Honey Gold. She talked about her mom abusing her as a kid, putting her in hot, cold bath water because her dad left her. Because I think Honey Gold is, I gotta check. I think Honey Gold is black and white, or white. She's white and black. I forgot. But I think she said she's white. And her mom used to beat her and blame her for her dad leaving or something like that.
You're going to be a horrible mother, and I'll look back to what you said and like how you're going to be like your mom. Right here, you might be like your mom 100%. Turned out worse somehow. Oh, wanting your mom crazy, how folks just repeat themselves.
See? Your understanding guy who promotes out there and said that Fresh and Fit is bad, and they talk to women anyway. He talked to women like this personally. And it's funny that these guys are letting this dude get away with, right? talking about they should have kept it private. But it's funny that they can drag people online, but you got to keep things private. They can make hundreds of videos about somebody, but you need to keep things private. Oh, it's just content. That dude, the fucking loser dude. Oh, you should keep things private. Then why the fuck you keep making videos about one group of person? Most of y'all would not survive without Fresh and Fit. None of y'all would survive. Y'all would have no content. Y'all don't have creativity for that content. Oh, you wouldn't have content. The Red Pills started back in 2001. What the fuck are you talking about? Do the years, do the numbers, piece of shits. 2001. YouTube was created in 2006. MGTOW, Red Pill, Incel, every man movement that was on here came out during that time. It was so many. Tommy Sotomayor, just so many people that came out. Sergeant Willie P. What's his name? I forgot the other guy's name. So many content creators came out when YouTube was created. We had storage of videos before the anti-red pill, it took y'all about almost 4 or 5 years, 6 years after the fact that people was making videos to see how popular it was to go against men movements. Now you have the misandry spear, where they just talk bad about men. These guys don't make videos about them.
I want to mention that Abba cannot pull up one message of me ever talking to him this way. If he does, I ask him to please post it. One horrible insult, other than me saying like, other than me saying like, I thought you were different. Here's a few other things he would say to me that he can't ever pull up me matching him in this way. He says, I was like, compared to using that my mental health against me, compared to telling someone you wouldn't care if I was standing on an edge of a bridge, which he has told me before, compare that to say that I'm going to be worse than the mother who abused me, compare that to telling me to kill myself, compare that to telling me to off myself, compare that to telling me you'd look at the child face in the face and tell them they're horrible, compare that.
She, in a kind of way, she's kind of adorable and sweet, because she doesn't know, you can tell she's inexperienced. She's only on social media. From what I see, I ain't seen any YouTube videos she has. She wasn't a content creator because she's so nervous on camera. She like, oh, she like a deer in the headlights. That's adorable right there. When people first come online, you can tell they don't have experience. She like, she reminds me of Resident Evil Requiem, Grace from Resident Evil Requiem, when she like she be shaking like she nervous in the apocalypse setting. She's shaking. Okay.
To yelling and screaming while I'm hyperventilating on the phone. And again, he's just going to say that I play victim all the time. How many times can someone really play victim? And, okay, paint me as a victim, but also please look into this as if maybe have a different perspective, as if I'm not the victim, and that he might be someone that might be difficult to work with and who gets upset easily and has this idea of how people should act, and if it's not that way, then they're playing the victim.
Yup. That shows his content. He thinks that people should do what he do. That's the anti-red pill side think that people should do their way. And that's the only way that life should live, is their way.
Compare that to kicking me out of your house while you ignored me for 3 days in Spain, which he did. He kicked me out of his house while I was pregnant in Spain. And we can get into that, and he's going to talk about his side, and I have my perspective. I don't know if it's worth going back and forth. Compare that to telling me off the baby multiple times. Compare that to telling me, oh, you're not very Christian of you, and mocking me. And that's something he would always do, too. He would always just mock me being a Christian. And one of the other things he kept saying was like, oh, I try to come off as like this super Christian. I don't. I tell him I'm a Christian. Towards the end of the relationship, after the abortion, I was like, I have some shit to deal with, and I definitely need to look at myself in the face about the abortion. But he'll always say things like, you judge a Christian with a superiority complex. I don't have to worry going forward just to avoid fake humble Christians who have superiority.
See? This shit bleeds into his real life. See, there's ways that you can respect other people's perspective by not being super judgmental, because you have to get along with people in the surface level. Before that, that's why I kind of give people limitations. I limit myself to what I say, and then when people ask me questions, I just be like, "You're like that," and I tell people right automatically. I don't really tell my personal business like that. Let's keep it there. Like, I don't tell people, politics or this and this and that, or I just pound off something, talk about something else. So you're dogging her religion. He found somebody he can bully in real life.
Complex. My fault for saying that and listening to myself and I'm a Christian. Before he made the stream, he actually called me, and I told him that the catalyst of why I'm even creating this video in the first place was because of our last interaction.
Wow. Wow. So they're still in contact with each other.
And there's a reason why I ended up mentioning this. And I'll try to find that. Oh, why am I doing this? He actually texted me. And this is when he saw the video that went out yesterday. All the drama you'll stir up is worth not having you tethered to me for a lifetime. Hi, Abba. It looks like I'm unblocked because you blocked me. After my last interaction, I couldn't believe you treat me so horrible once again. I'm not a doormat. I had to stand up for myself. I have every screenshot of you ever telling me I'm worse than my mother. You abused me, and other worse messages and long text threads, and how our interactions went, and how you treated me awful, and I always forgave. Do whatever you want. I know you'd always do it. I wasn't until our last interaction. I was never going to go out with any of this until our last interaction, which I will get into in a moment. But we'll go through this really quick. Okay, so he's talking about the baby and what his terms were, and me going back and forth about the baby. I didn't realize how much I missed this in the last video. People were just like, oh, you just left, you just decided to go back and forth. I did not just decide to break up with Abba because of the baby. Abba, like I said, no one sees Abba this way because no one is Abba's girlfriend. Your partner triggers something different in you, in your nervous system, than your friends, than your family. Abba is not nice when he's upset. Not physically, but emotionally and mentally. It is, he said that he was fucked up by this. I was also fucked up by this.
Yeah, we could see it in his content, where he makes thousands and thousands of videos on Fresh and Fit and the Red Pill, and he can't leave it alone. And his fans eat that shit up, right? Let me ask you a question, right? Do I care what a homeless person says? If a bunch of homeless guys start making YouTube videos and they start making videos about things, do you think that I'm gonna make a counter video about what they thinking? No, I won't give a fuck. I'm like, how the fuck they get a phone, first of all, and they're homeless? That's the same equivalent to, why would you care about what Red Pill said when you think that they're equivalent of being homeless people? If they don't get women, how do they get fans? Oh man, these guys never did the. Don't you see how they be like, oh yeah man, Fresh and Fit fans are fucking losers and this and this and that? Then what that makes you? You're fans of this. What, y'all the winners of society? Y'all the perfect guys of the society? That's when you put yourself in the moral ground. You don't want to go back and forth with me. Please, let's be real. You don't want to do it. Because if you're the moral high ground, I'm gonna point out all the flaws in society and say, why none of these flaws didn't get fixed already? Mind you, y'all outside more than the so-called incels. Why don't you fix anything? Oh, your society's not perfect. Oh, what's going on? And then the person y'all put up there, y'all make videos after videos and reactions, counter reactions to. is treating the girl that he's close to like shit. Kicking a girl out while she's pregnant. Kicking the chick out anyways. No. Even the small piece of me wouldn't be doing some stupid shit like that. I just bounce. Like, okay, you got it. If it was an Airbnb, okay, you got it. Call up the place. Yeah, she gonna be in there by herself. That's it. I'm out. You always gotta have a backup plan anyway.
And that's like my truth. When you're pregnant, your body becomes primed to seek security and seek safety. And people will cling on to their partner, even if they're not the right match. Our differences were so profound that I knew that staying with him was not sustainable for the child. And you can see that in the insults that I showed you. You can see that in, like him, he would always tell me to like off myself. And,
oh no. Abba telling somebody to take their own life? But that's not the high moral ground of the Abba who goes against the red pill. Wow.
And everything like that. And I'm going to show you a clip of the video.
I have said some shit to females, right? But I don't think I ever told them to off themselves. I have 20,000 screenshots. So no. I don't think I ever did. So,
Here of wanted integrity. And even when we fight, I don't say half the stuff that you say. You regret everything that you say when we fight. You know that you regret everything. And knowing how you are, you're going to regret tonight and how you've been with me. Okay, I'm gonna show a completely different video on that also, but that can kind of show you. Again, he's gonna.
I feel bad at all. She okay, and I'm gonna just move this up. And her friends are messaging. Look at this. How great. Now from her perspective, she's gonna.
So that what I'm gonna say is.
Clap.
So, I remember when I told y'all that when I was trying to talk to this girl from Hawaii, her family started like following me on Instagram, and we was talking, right? And they instantly stopped following me when I called her chick out because, she was, lying and said she was by herself or whatever. But she was fawning over some dude with long hair. And she was like, don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm not trying to have conflict of interest. Same thing happened before, like a couple years ago, back in 2017, where it was this chick lying and pretending that she was this, low self-esteem girl, and then find out she has a boyfriend and had to blast her on Facebook and tell her like, hey, your girl was talking to me and I got her phone number. This is her phone number, right? And she was like, oh, I was just being a friend to him. Like, no, you wasn't. Like, you're lucky I didn't record the call. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so there are 4 numbers here that I want to address. Abba, so the night I broke up with him, and now, when he had blocked me, again, the reason why I had been going back and forth is because Abba's and I's conflict were so terrible, and we were fighting all the time. There were so many incompatibilities. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel safe. He would yell. He would scream. I was pregnant in Montreal. He kicked me out. He has his reasons for it. I was pregnant. I had no signal outside. I was locked out the apartment in Canada weather.
Wow. Mr. He Knows Women, you locked a woman outside of an apartment instead of finding her some kind of shelter for y'all to separate. You're a bitch.
That was the fight I was talking about. And that was, like, again, a pivotal moment. And when I got back, he was just, I would express how I'm feeling, and he would just sit there and look at me while I was, like, upset or crying. And I'm playing victim. And then he would just be like, oh, you're crying? Well, like, you deserve to cry kind of thing. Like, it was just mocking and ridicule.
Yep, that sound just that sound just like Abba. Mind you, this guy has a pattern. He used to hang out with Brittany Sammy or whatever her name is. He used to hang out with Destiny until he threw Destiny under the bus.
First, I was having
And with this,
block because
okay.
she would not stop.
So
Oh shit, it got past the point of almost an hour. So I'm probably gonna give it like let me try to get it to like an hour and 20 minutes, and then I'll probably get it to try to get a part 2 out. It's taking a little longer than I expected. But
The harassment was crazy.
So this was one night. All the blocking before that I showed in the other example was his common behavior of blocking me. This night, whether it's justified or not, was the night I had blackmailed him, which I never did. Again, I felt like I had to leave the relationship. When you listen to the phone call, you'll get an idea of the anger that he has and like our incompatibilities. And so this was the night of the blackmail, which I never end up talking to Myron. I never end up sending it. My friend, 2 of these numbers are mine. I have like a Google Voice number, one other number, and then my cousin and my friend. And now these phone numbers are up here. But the phone numbers are on there, which not very good. But there were only 4 numbers. Could that have seemed a lot? Is that a lot for a pregnant girl to try to get a hold of her boyfriend who doesn't want anything to do with her? Abba expressed all of his story about like me cutting him off and everything. There was my story. And my story is I was with Abba. I was experiencing a lot of fights, a lot of ways he was communicating with me, degrading me, ways.
more women need to come out. They need to. And then the malfunction of these fucking ABBA defenders, they will start malfunctioning because, you know, mind you, they take a woman's side. But if it's multiple women, yeah. But I think that ABBA pays them off and he couldn't pay her off. And she was so convicted because, you know, mental illness and sometimes give you this little bit of like clarity or whatever. She's like, fuck the money. I'm gonna go out there and tell the world what you really are. And some of these other women might look at me like, okay, you know what? ABBA paid me off. He treated me like shit. Yeah, ABBA did this to me. ABBA did this. And if 5 girls come out, even 3 girls come out, if 2 more girls come out, he's done. And all these defenders, you just make a list.
Conflict. There were so many incompatibilities. I did not want to raise a child in that environment. And even if he did not want to, and that's why I was going back and forth with the abortion. Again, it was only 3 times. He made it sound like a lot. And the other thing that he said was that I tried to contact him multiple times. This was the only time that night that I tried to contact him. But throughout here, he made it seem like...
I don't know if it was like through text. I don't...
I think... Okay, so during this part, he says that I tried to contact his family, his friends, and his job. ABBA, please show evidence of that. The only person I ever reached out to, I think he was talking about the ABBA and Preach page, which I think like his assistant saw, so I think that's one of the people. And then Preach. I contacted Preach that last day, and I never contacted anyone again. I let it go. And I promise you, he does not have proof from, I think, June 13 until he reached out to me, which was February 4th. ABBA, if you have any proof of me contacting other people other than ABBA and Preach, let me know. Or please show them. I promise you, he won't have any.
I love it. I love the fact that she did the girl ball shit. She like, show them the proof. Oh no, my bad. Let me do the Grace. I need you to show the proof. Show the proof, damn it.
My best. And again, and this phone call is the same phone call from the beginning. So he's just splitting it up. And again, it's a conversation. I was actually happy to hear from the ABBA, even if you know he had abandoned the situation, and I was feeling emotional about everything. That month was really dark, and I'm sure it was really dark for ABBA too. So that, like, I'm not even gonna address that. I'm not perfect in the way like how fluent I speak, and I was saying a lot. And realizing now that he's recording, he didn't say anything, and I was like, I felt a lot, and like I don't think I said I regretted my apology. I was like you know, like, please say something because I'm hurt. Also, like, I would like if you said something too. He's painting the narrative that I'm suicidal and crazy. He's painting the narrative that I do that when we break up. The only times I've done it is when he weaponized something he knew that was very sensitive to me, which was the abortion, and then he would say, like, I would kill the baby. I think there's one more example of that that I didn't find, but if he has other examples of me using it while we broke up, then he would be able to pull that up.
Or could have ever imagined. So, with the shock and everything, all I wanted was I ran over and
in this audio,
I'm sorry.
I am saying sorry to him because I was genuinely sorry. It was a very complicated situation.
That a phone call with you.
destroy you. Like, that's so, like, you guys hear me here. Off.
Okay, so preach.
Recognize
So
the, like,
preach here says, when I reached out to him,
but there's just certain things that she did. She just doesn't recognize the gravity of it or what kind of betrayal it is.
okay,
It's funny that these guys can play with other people's lives, but nobody can play with their lives. In war, there's rules in war, but once you show that you don't care about rules and regulations, if we set out rules to like combat in a battlefield, then okay, I'm gonna throw gas. I'm gonna use gas bombs. Since you want to sit there and fight dirty, I'm gonna throw gas. And then once all of you wiped out, well, why do you fight so dirty? We wanted to fight. I was told that we was supposed to fight with guns, knives, and everything else, and maneuver tactics, and artillery, and ATVs, and helicopters, and everything else. But then you used gas. So we're using gas. That's how it is.
maybe I am blind to those things. Abba is also blind to those things. Abba is not perfect in this either. There's a reason why I decided to break up with him while I was pregnant. So I know Abba had already painted me in this light, but just please understand that Abba might not be who he is portraying.
Go ahead. This is the way that you contacted me. You were off. Off. Why contact me? I felt like she wanted to use me. That's what it felt like. It was weird. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do here, but it's hella weird. Yep. The making the rounds, the contact the others. It's not you contacted one person, bitch.
Oh, he called her a B. Oh shit. He called her a B. Wow, this is your dudes that stand up for women? Calling a woman a B?
Made the rounds to contact everybody.
That's what I don't
Some dumb people fell in the trap.
See, that's what I don't understand. They're saying I tried to contact everybody. Please show where I've tried to contact everybody. Now it's just like exaggeration and a little bit of a distortion. The only people I tried to contact during this part was Preach and the Abba and Preach page. There was nobody else. Abba, please show proof of that. I'm like begging you to show proof of that.
Fit, fresh.
Oh, and then he was talking about Myron. I don't know how else to say. That was an emotional reaction from me while I was pregnant and while he was leaving, while he always stonewalls me and blocks me. I was never going to do it, and I never did do it. Even Abba, please show who else I had contacted in between the time.
And guess what? That shows her loyalty right there to this piece of shit. Cause she didn't go to his enemy that he made videos after videos after videos. Because if she didn't do what she did when she contacted all of these other people and only contacted Fresh and Fit, they would have sat on this, they would have edited, they would have chopped it all up, and then they would have released it. Then they would have did an interview with her, and that would have destroyed her. That would have destroyed him. Not only that, they could have sent her. If Fresh and Fit, if she was really that vindictive and evil, she would have recorded him saying some of the most vicious shit and act like they was okay, and then send that shit to Fresh and Fit, and it would have blown the fuck up. And then guess what? In their hands, it would have been done. Abba would have done, but she did it on herself. So it's not. It's kind of like it's kind of like a small gun shooting at a tank. It ain't doing anything. But if she would have brung all of the information, it would have been like it would have been like a 50 caliber machine gun shooting at a van.
Of Preach, and in between the time of February 4th.
You contacted everybody.
Everybody.
That is not, I didn't know what to do. I think one of the last things that you told me in that text that you sent me was, I think I know how I'm going to proceed. That's what you chose to do?
Okay. I wish Preach would show what I sent him. I wish Preach, he might still have messages. I deleted the messages because at that time I was like, I don't really want to see anything. I was so respectful. I think you saw it. I was like, hey, sorry to, in the first video, I was like, sorry to come at you like this. There's just things that I need to show or talk about. Abba can lash out. I really need help with this situation. Again, I'm pregnant. This is just my last attempt to talk to the father. I actually do have the audio that he's talking about. And in this audio, it says, like, I would never do anything to hurt Abba, nothing in my phone to hurt Abba, regarding the phone call, which he says I can play, and the text messages. That all changed after my last interaction with Abba. So during this time, I really meant it. But, you know, the last interaction that I had with him completely changed. But this is what Preach is talking about. Hey, Preach, I had the last few hours to think about a few things, and I think I have a little bit more clarity about what I need to do moving forward. And again, my reach out to you was just my final attempt to reach out to anything to try to find some ground on what the right thing to do is regarding the baby. And so I just do want to leave Abba with this one thing. And it was, I told him I do care about his future and his peace, and I meant that. And there were a lot of things that happened. And I don't want to leave him thinking that there's, I have anything in my phone that I would use or put out there. I had a knee-jerk reaction to record a pretty brutal phone call a few days ago and kind of document some messages based off of how I felt like I was being treated. But he doesn't have to worry about me having that. There's nothing in me that would ever want to disrupt his life, to be honest, despite me being hurt. And I don't mean this in a passive-aggressive way at all. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. So again, he doesn't even have to worry about anything existing regarding...
See, and this is one of the funniest part, right? You can have a whole bunch of shit on somebody and never release it because you care about the person, right? But then when the person, you know, crosses a line, you be like, okay, yeah, you're done. And you start releasing the shit.
That stuff. And again, my last attempt to just figure out some clarity, and I think I have that. So thanks. That's the audio that Preach is talking about. What he's talking about. How come they didn't mention anything else? I wish he would pull up. Okay, so again, this is the same conversation that we had. It's all one conversation. And everyone's like manipulative and stuff like that. I'm not trying to manipulate someone I didn't speak to for 1 month. I'm honestly just happy to talk to this person to figure out everything, all the questions I had. Okay, so then we had like talked about counseling, and this is like, yeah, me being like, I don't feel safe because of everything that happened and like how he can react on the phone call, which I'll be showing. But
I lost myself in our relationship, and I realized I have a hard time being myself. And she was really trying to set up meetings, which I think she tried to set up like 2 or 3, and I kept saying no every time.
During the month of February 10th, he sets up the appointment, or he sets up the flight. Hey, San Francisco. Oh, right here, San Francisco is March 26th. I don't think I have other stuff, but he's making it seem like...
So, like I said before, she should have got somebody to do this. They would have set up a PowerPoint presentation for her, and like I said, Myron would have destroyed him. I don't like Myron from Fresh and Fit. I know Myron gangs. I know what he used to be. I know that he was a workout dude. He didn't have no voice until Solo 284 got to him. I know all the shit that this dude betray is only him because he has a platform. But as far as his creativity, yeah, Myron is a pretty creative guy. He's more creative than Abba and Preach. Alright? That Undertaker thing and, you know, the intro and all the stuff that he got, it was nice. And everybody's taking Fresh and Fit style. They took their style. They talked about them, they took their style. Same thing with the Red Pill. A lot of these people talk about the Red Pill, then they start doing the same shit. Same thing with the whole people that was talking about the Manosphere. Then they start acting using Manosphere talking points after the Black Manosphere died.
I'm trying to do all of the meeting up. There was a point where, like, after we had reconnected, I did want to see him. I'm not gonna lie, despite all the BS that was going on, you still have this love for this person, and I did want to see him. And he booked an appointment for, like, around the time of Valentine's Day, and And then the day before, he just unbooked it, or he canceled it, because I was saying like, hey, you know, like sometimes you get really mean, and sometimes you get really, like sometimes I get scared of you. And to be honest, that's how I felt. And he hated that. But he couldn't see why I felt that way, which was one of the reasons why I broke up with him. And so now, the month of February was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of like tension. It's kind of the same cycle as it was before. But you can't say that I was just trying to meet up all the time. I was upset when he canceled the flights, but this is so wrong. Here, he sends me this picture, and I'm like, of his flight, and then I'm like super excited. February.
And I canceled on all three. She told me something that was very interesting. You guys remember how she presented herself as the first Christian woman, a very good ruler, very chill.
You said to you.
You know, like, you see her Instagram, like, very chill. So, like, this is the person, she would never court the attention of another man. If another man approaches her, blah, 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 all this other stuff. She was, like, overcompensating. And she was very territorial and jealous. And to give you guys some context.
I wasn't overcompensating. I said that I am defensive over my relationship, and I was not territorial or compensating. There was one girl that he followed, which was like an Asian girl that was like twerking. I never asked him to unfollow this Dominican girl that he's going to talk about.
If you guys go to my Instagram, I follow like 40 people, okay? Most of them did.
He's exaggerating this also.
Influencers or artists or...
Sorry. If there was any other proof of me being territorial or jealous, please show that.
My family members.
But not me.
Not him, yeah. So you're not an artist, a family member, or... You know. So,
Our friend. Asian man.
she'll link it to the book, she'll link it to pro... She'll do. Why am I laughing? The whole time this lady had a Facebook, Instagram, but she was like following hundreds of dudes.
Okay. I was not following hundreds of dudes. This Instagram that he is talking about is my personal Instagram, which you guys all saw last night. This Instagram was... He just tried to make me look so horrible. And there's a lot of exaggeration, and, you know, maybe people... I know I'm not going to get as much traction on this, but I follow 260 people. And as a normal person, you're going to follow your high school guy friends. I don't even follow... I think the only, like, podcast person I follow is, like, Ruslan. But these are all my friends.
Okay? Again, still can't... The hypocrisy pisses me off. It's not...
He's talking about the Instagram now. And he says a lot of people...
And if he does this shit in real life, no wonder he only has is Preach as a friend. Right? Because you see what he did to Destiny, right?
things about
Yeah,
it.
this live is going to be public for a while.
He says a lot of horrible things about it. About my new Instagram. I'm going to tell you why I started this Instagram. I started this Instagram after I got my abortion, a week after I got my abortion. I was in the Bay Area at the time, and I lived in the Bay Area at the time, so I didn't really have friends. I don't have family up there. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to try something new and post archery and stuff like that. I let Abba know. The way Abba wants to interpret it, he's going to interpret it that way. I blocked everybody off this because it can be kind of like embarrassing almost if it like doesn't go well. I started January 31st. Ab and I started talking again February. My February posts were everything here. And he's saying I'm cheating on him because I posted these things. And he didn't want to show this one. And he was like, he said on this one that I turned around and showed my ass. I didn't. This was the post. Me in my uniform. I'm not a nurse, I'm something else, but archery. This. And then he said that I had archived a post. The reason I had archived a post was because he told me, show me the ones. But he's saying that I archived a post. Anyways, you're not going to understand it. He can point it out. But he told me to show him what I did on February, because that's when we were talking, right? These were all the posts. I had archived this one, which was March 2nd. And I had archived it because honestly it was like a little sexy, to be honest, but it was, but not to hide it from him. I had archived it at the time. And this one was my last February one. He had asked me, show me all the ones that you did in February. And so this gets me upset also. You're hurt. You try to leave it off with a good foot. I hid it from him, which I didn't hide it from him. If that proof needs to be pulled up, okay, I'm going to post this so you guys can get the hint. The incident of the Instagram was like a stupid reason to want.
So it's almost an hour and 20 minutes. So I think Abba watches P movies or something, man, because this girl looks identical to somebody I'm going to bring up. So here we go. So doesn't this girl look just like Abba's girl. Doesn't this girl look just like Abba? The girl that Abba is dating or was dating. So he must be a fan of OnlyFans or something because, well, she looked just like her.
Okay,
What?
here with Scarlett, Alexis. Scarlett, kind of what your mindset was like going through the year.
Yeah, I don't know. I really hustled. I worked as much as I possibly could. I was really grateful for a lot of.
She looked just like her, and she talks like her too. Look.
At any point, you could have like a potentially fatal stroke. Seizure since I was a teenager. My parents never took me to the doctor for it. I finally go get checked out. They're like, at any point, you could have like a potentially.
Isn't that crazy?
Scarlett Alexis, Phoenix, Arizona, U.S.
So your boy looked at P movies and he saw a girl that looked like Scarlett Alexa and he decided, hey, I want to date her because she looks like my favorite porn star. I'm just putting it out there. She looked just like her. Remember when I told y'all guys, I said, this world is so big that you shouldn't try to stay with one girl because you can always find a girl that looks like her and looks better with a better personality.